I don't know if it's my internet is struggling, which I have had some internet issues, but definitely this app is being very weird. Hopefully you can hear me. Things are going. Can you hear me? Okay. Well then, go ahead and ask your question. I am well, thank you. Struggling with this computer. Which is a little frustrating, but that's alright. That's alright. For the most part, everything seems to be working. I wonder if there's a big delay here. Yeah. All right. So you're wondering what option to go with here? All right, so how are we going to identify these two options? Come on. Option M, okay. And option F. Which place is best for curry at this time? Option M. Or option F. Ooh. So with option M, and actually both these options, at the beginning, there may be some things that you're not sure about, if you've made the right decision, if you're going to be able to handle it. But honestly, with option F, you're going to have a little bit easier of time kind of bringing balance to that situation. So that may be, in the long term, the best way to go. Either option are very good, viable, but I think that with the first option, option M, it's not going to be as easy to do things by yourself. Whereas with option F, it's going to be easier for you to get to a place where things kind of settle down and you are able to take care of everything. The Six of Pentacles, we're still relying on help from others. With the Emperor, we're more in control. So either or, it seems like option F in the long run is going to be the best option for you here. I think they're both good options for you. Like, it's not going to be bad to choose one over the other, but you'll get to a stronger point of feeling kind of in control or happier with the living situation with F. F is more short term, M is for at least 6 months. Thinking about that Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Now, even though this is a short term, I think when it comes time to leave, you'll be good with that. Like, you're going to be okay with letting go. Here, I don't know what that Seven of Swords is going to mean, but we normally don't put a lot of faith in the Seven of Swords. There's a lot of uncertainty wrapped in that. Yeah, overall, I still think with F, and maybe it's just because you're going to have more, I don't know, time or maybe less pressure. But for your situation, it still seems like you have a better start with F. With M, either way, like I said, either way, both situations can work for you, but this isn't the ideal one. Neither of them are ideal, but this, I don't know, that Seven of Swords we need to be a little bit careful about. And even though this may be a shorter term possibility, it does seem like a better start off for you. I'm still seeing F as the better choice in this moment. There may be something with M that we don't quite see yet. that may create some difficulties in that way. But in the end, you're not going to make a bad decision by choosing one over the other. Again, both of them are going to work out for what you need. It just seems like this is a more peaceful, I would say, way to go is with F. Let's see, M. It does show conflicts that may arise with that Five of Wands. But whatever those conflicts may be, it does seem like you can work that out. The overall feeling is that things kind of change maybe from what you think they are. As in, like, I'm trying to think of an example. Maybe we move in with like no expectations of, I don't know, certain kind of rules or something, curfews, or I don't know what all is involved with this location. But at the beginning, there does seem to be conflicts, and that what you originally thought of this living situation, parts of it may change from how they seemed at first, if that makes sense. I don't think it's necessarily like a horrible thing that's going to happen. It's just creating some conflict, and you're kind of like, all right, maybe this isn't the best place for me. So I guess when that comes to trust, it's just like what was laid out, or maybe there were some things that they didn't mention that later on may cause problems. So that's the kind of trust issues that we're having, is that maybe they're not fully upfront with everything about, you know, the situation. And then maybe that's where we come back to F, where it feels like we have a little bit more independence, or like not so much rules or something like that. Hello, everybody who has come in. I'm kind of going slow this morning. My internet's acting weird. But I think the idea that it's only going to be like 6 months long Like, even if there is a hassle, even if there is a conflict here, it's not like this is a permanent situation for you. So if you have to, you can just deal with it and then move on. I think that's why we see that, you know, either situation isn't like horrible to choose from. Thank you, thank you. Gummy Pop. Hello. Just a general. Ooh. Don't like seeing tower with just general. Eeh. So that does kind of relate to maybe feelings of emotional instability with that tower moment, because we have a lot of cups involved here. So maybe there is a problem that you have been dealing with, are going through now, or something that may be coming up that you have a lot of like emotional investment into. So we're going to see a little bit of upset when that comes to that. And unfortunately with emotions, sometimes, especially for whatever reason, these emotions seem to be very heightened. And that's why it feels like everything is just like crashing down with that tower. So something that has a lot of emotional investment for you. It's not necessarily going to be like end of the world thing. It just may be shifting of emotions, or something. Even with that Six of Cups especially, it can be like tied to something of the past. And with that Seven of Cups, with combination to that Six of Cups, it can be about something that we had, you know, planned, or we have been working towards, something that has been this dream of ours, and there's been an interruption here, and it just becomes more, I would say, frustrating. It feels like a loss, like we've lost our way, or we've lost something that, you know, was super important to what we had planned for in our future. So with the Hanged Man, it's kind of like just take some time. It feels like a lot of emotional weight. It feels like a lot is happening, but kind of like level yourself out. Things are going to be okay. It may not feel like it within the moment, but this is about, you know, the Hanged Man especially is tied to just trials that we go through in our lives. So it's just something that you have to go through, get through, in order to further progress, and maybe even add to your emotional wisdom, if that makes sense. Let's see. Hello, Nodris. Hello, Stargazer. Fellow Pigeon. There's times where I be like, things are normal, and then something happens, and I start thinking in binaries of, should I end this or just be patient? So obviously with here, with that Hanged Man, just be patient. The best thing that you can do is try to bring some, I would say, calm or level out the emotions. And you'll be fine. I think the tower ending with the hangman is bringing that balance back. So just kind of trust in yourself and your ability to recover, because you'll be okay. Thank you, Gummy Pop. Angie. Will things move forward with Jay? The initial J hasn't had a very good outcome in readings I have done. Everyone knows a J. Everyone knows a J. Alright, will things move forward with Angie and Jay? 2. Strength. 2. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Things will progress. Things will move forward. The 2s are great. Especially that 2 of Cups. When it comes to how we connect with people. How we harmonize with people. Right? Now the strength, that's a little bit concerning. But, you know, sometimes we gotta be a little bit weak in order to find that strength, right? Does that make sense? And oftentimes, especially if we are like getting into a new relationship or our relationship with somebody is shifting or changing, we do feel kind of like weak in a sense. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes we need to let our guard down a little and not be so, like, ready to, fight or something like that, right? We have to be a little bit more gentle. And so that can be the more gentle side of strength, showing your strength. But either way. 2 of Cups is a good sign, and then we have the Knight of Cups, and that's really the card here that tells us things will progress, things will move forward. That Knight of Cups is kind of a slow and steady emotional growth. Oh. Okay, so that kind of makes sense with that strength card in reverse then. If you are, if your connection, your relationship is based on someone else, on what the family has to say about it, if the family allows this connection, that's where that strength in reverse can come in. Oh yeah, just do !join and you'll be added to the queue. So that makes sense in that context. but it does seem like things will work out. I would say that the Cups card, the Knight of Cups, is one of the slower moving knights, but don't think of that as a bad thing, because it just allows more time for things to grow and expand and become stronger. Knight of Pentacles, another card of slow growth. The Chariot. Okay. Again, slow. Slow, slow, slow. It's going to be longer than you want. When we see a Knight of Pentacles, we think within the year. That can be any time within that year, but it's not going to be something that is like immediate, we're going to get an answer tomorrow, right? It is going to be a while. And the Chariot, it could just be that there are things that interrupt the progress, that make it feel like it's not moving. But we still have that Knight of Cups. And maybe Jay needs to push a little bit more. Maybe they're not in that place where they are like, you know, I want to be with this person and trying to move things along, something like that. So maybe they need to get a little bit more involved to get things moving in the right way. Just be patient, though, because you don't want to create more obstacles moving forward, right? Be patient, and you will get to where you want to be in this connection. Salutations. That's all right, Stargazer. I'm usually not looking directly at the chat. Thank you, Angie. Elias. Is that how we say your name? So if any of y'all are having some lag, I am having internet issues. All right. Go ahead and ask your question. And I do think there is quite a delay. So, what do you need to know about your career change, job hunting journey? Martian Man. Never mind. All right, Elias and their job hunt. Oh, yes. Yes. You are going to find a job here. You're going to be finding a good place, a good position, a place that you want to be. It's like things coming together. You know, that Two of Cups we just talked about, kind of finding our place, finding that job that speaks to us. The Queen of Wands, that's always good. We're happy where we are. We feel like this is the place we're going to progress. This is the place we are like meant to be in. This is very suiting for us. Justice, you know, getting that job that you are trying so hard to find. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And then we have the Four of Cups. And I think that just kind of deals with maybe general uneasiness, or you're not so sure about this job, this position, if you made the right choice. That's okay. You got to kind of trust that this is where you're meant to be at this time. You know, sometimes when I see that Four of Cups, I think about being bored. But sometimes that's not a bad thing. It just means like this is a place that we can just do our job, relax, and just move through life. We don't have to worry about the job aspect, right? We can put our energy into other things that are more important to us. But yeah, overall, I do see that your job hunting journey is going to bring about good results for you. Time frame. It does seem like it'll come at the right time. I don't know what Queen of Pentacles really represents when it comes to time. But I think that does kind of have to do with you, your efforts, and just like making the decision. Someone gives you a job offer, you gotta be like, yes, even if you're not 100% sure about it, because this is what you need. What is with you and hunting, stargazer? Nodrith. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Thank you, Elias. Is Nodrith still here? I'm not sure. You will be next if Nodrith is not here. I don't think they're here. All right, Stargazer. Hello, Aaron. Are you a cat? What, Stargazer? Is that your question? What are you? Okay, okay. That probably would have been a first. Theistic Satanism, not to be confused with atheistic Satanism. Yeah, go ahead and explain that. Basically, believing in nothing and no afterlife when you die. And when I die, go to hell. Well, because I want to, of course. Yeah, I mean, especially when you just say the word or the word Satanism, people have negative connotations towards it right away. Ooh. I've never heard the term theistic before, though. That is new for me. All right. What does Satan... Sounds weird to say. What does Satan want you to know? Okay, Apple. You got a lot of minor cards here. I'm trying to elaborate, trying to collaborate, trying to figure out if I should be applying reverse or upright meanings to all these. So let's see. Let's focus on the Knight of Wands first, which does kind of wrap around things that get in the way of moving forward, getting to where we want to be, interruptions, expectation of interruptions, right? The 9 and 10 of Wands is interesting to have those two next to each other. The 10 of Wands can relate to opposition, and opposition that is going to bring about distress towards you. So there it does seem, and then that 9 of Swords is about anxieties. So overall, it does seem like in order for you to continue your path forward, it's just the understanding of, you know, the opposition that you may receive, the conflict that this may cause, but trust in, you know, your belief, and don't focus so much on like trying to convince other people. You don't want to sit here and create arguments. You don't want to sit here and try to get people to understand. It's more about your own personal understanding, and this is what is going to help you to remove those obstacles. I feel like you probably already have come across a lot of that already. I don't know what's going on upstairs, but it is distracting me. This dude is throwing SHIT around like crazy. And now he's running back and forth. What the hell? So, the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Wands is very much attached to how you progress forward. Your willingness to put up with those obstacles, to move past them, and to keep moving towards your own personal goals in your beliefs. There's no like simple A to B type of path in this situation, and you just have to expect that just naturally, as you come to terms with your own truths and your own beliefs, that it is going to bring about, again, that opposition. It's going to bring about difficulties. But trust in how you feel and what you believe. Because it's all about your own personal struggle, your own personal experiences, and then your own personal reality. So you can't let that doubt creep in. And you can't let people, make you feel that you are doing something wrong if that is your belief. So overall, it's just a message of understanding the opposition that you may receive, but trust in, your belief and kind of stick to it. There's not much more you can do. Just make sure you don't get hung up on trying to convince other people. Don't get hung up on what other people think or feel about you. Don't get hung up on disagreements that may come about. Because you can't put the same thing twice. Yeah, you are kind of in charge of the energy that you put into this and how you progress forward in your beliefs. And there's expectation of difficulties, but anytime you have a strong belief in anything, regardless of what it is, you can expect opposition from someone. Oof. All right, Aaron. Pigeon receives all kinds of opposition being a cat. Yes, I love you, Pigeon. I always try to be open to anyone's belief, because I'm not here to tell anyone that they're wrong or right. I don't have a definitive answer to anything. I'm not some I know everything kind of person. And sometimes that can just in itself, that can rub people the wrong way. If I agree with someone else's beliefs, or if I am neutral towards someone else's belief, if I'm not up there like saying that's wrong, people can sometimes have problems with that. Aaron, are you still here? But it's not really their place to say either what is right, what is wrong. What does Santa have planned for Apple? Pigeon! You're being annoying, honey bunny. Stop. Pigeon! Where's the brush? Your hair is a mess. Yeah. Stop trying to eat it. You weirdo. Alright, you back, Apple? Yeah, you didn't like that. Women Oracle, please. Women Oracle. Where did I put this? Women's Oracle. Which one is it? Hopefully this is the right one. Women of Myth. Huitaka. Huitaka. The Wild. I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh. SEX Magic Defiance. Huitaka is the goddess of sex, drunkenness, fertility, and fun of the musica, an indigenous Colombian people. Muistica. Cursed for disobeying the rules, she transformed her punishment of having been turned into a nocturnal creature into her strength, partying and making love well into the night. So yeah, she got turned into an owl so that she could party all night long. The card meaning you need to break free, have fun, and let go of control. Throw caution to the wind with a party or celebration. No risk, no reward. Her advice: Huitaka is urging you to ask yourself why you've always done things a certain way. Are your behaviors personally motivated or part of cultural conditioning? Release yourself from expectations of what is proper or right. See your weakness as a strength instead. Woo! So, Again, party is what she says. Party all night long. Turn whatever your weakness is, what you feel like that weakness is, or what that weakness that other people see in you. Turn that into what makes you strong. Honestly, it I don't know. Whew. Don't party too hard, I guess, is what I want to say. No drip. Self-liberation. People turned you into an owl, so free yourself of that. Owls are beautiful creatures. That's not a horrible thing to be turned into, honestly. All right. How is Nodrit's person feeling about them? Is an owl reclusive? So, with your person, there does seem to be like a feeling of responsibility and potentially wanting to strengthen this connection, grow it, put our effort and energy into this with that Queen of Wands. But with the Ace of Blades in reverse, this may be attributed to their own doubts. It could be doubts that they have that they can be the person that you need them to be, or doubts that they're going to be capable to, you know, keep things. I don't know. It very much ties to their own insecurities. And so it could just be like maybe they don't feel like they are a good person for you, or maybe they feel even guilty that you are investing any energy into them for whatever reason. When we see the Hierophant in reverse, it's kind of like when we're just kind of going along with, you know, maybe what another person wants because we feel some kind of obligation. But it's more like they don't really have like a strong idea of what it is that they want, or a strong idea of, you know, what their future is going to be. So again, this can relay back to insecurities that they have, that they are somebody that anyone should be putting their time and energy into. They have doubts in themselves, and doubts that they are somebody worth being in a relationship with, in a way. So, I think they are struggling themselves mentally. But they do want to make sure that you are okay, right? That you are getting what you need, that there is somebody who is concerned about you and caring for you. If that makes sense. They may need a little help building up that confidence. Witches, wizards, wraiths and ghasts, zombies and skeletons, creepy crawlies, and monsters of all tastes and kinds. Is there a lover for Cruise Boy? I didn't realize that was poetry. Alright, love for Cruise. Queen of Cups in reverse, so that's not a good sign. It looks like there are things that get in the way of our quest for love. With the Queen of Cups, it's like, thank you, Nodrith. It's like there will be people in your life. There will be kind of like more flirtatious relationships that don't really go anywhere. And that's kind of what it feels like, is that even when there is connections, there is love, it feels kind of empty. It's not what you're really looking for. It's not something that's going to satiate your needs. And so this does seem to tie into past attachment. And what that can mean so many things, but what it basically goes back to is like ideas that we have had in the past of what relationships should be, or even like somebody that we idolize, that we kind of compare future relationships to. And so I think that can kind of get in the way of creating a healthy attachment with somebody. If we're comparing them to some idea that we have of what love should be, or expectations in love, then we can expect that any partner that we have in the future is probably going to fall short of that idea. But then you also get to this point where, Am I just complacent here? I think eventually you will, I don't know. You're cooked. I think what it is that maybe you need to I want to say re-idea, but that's not a word. You need to maybe reassess how you think that a relationship should be, and realize that a lot of times people are going to fall short of our expectations. We're not going to find that one perfect person that's going to mark every box that we desire. So maybe we just need to think about what it is that is truly important when it comes to us and our future partner, before you'll find a relationship that is going to be satisfying for you. It's not necessarily alone forever. What I see is somebody who may have a lot of standards, which isn't bad, because, you know, when we get desperate for love, that's when we get into really bad relationships. So I always tell people it's okay, just be patient. Don't rush into love just because you're desperate to find that love, that attachment. Things come in time, right? Well, I say high standards only because I feel like there is some idealization going on here with these two cards. And I feel like, especially when we're young, our ideas of love are very influenced by, you know, media. Especially nowadays, when we can't get away from Instagram and Facebook and see all these loving couples that seem to be in perfect relationships, because that is not the truth. So, don't settle. Cruise will be fine. Everyone will get to where they want to be eventually, right? Or at least come to a place where they are happy where they're at, I hope. I don't know. That's a lie. So the thing about your partner putting you first is kind of that unhealthy thinking. Your partner should have a priority towards you, yes, but also you have to understand that you don't come above everything else in the world. Sometimes your partner has to prioritize other things, and you have to allow that space, you know? Every minute of every day doesn't need to be about how do I satisfy my partner? How do I make sure my partner is happy? That is where we start to come into more codependent relationships. We want a partner that can live their own life and do what they want to do and be happy on their own, but with us as well, right? We don't want to smother someone. The more likely you are to try to be your Naruto. but include you. It's nice when our partner thinks about us. Yes. If my partner is gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go eat lunch with my friend. You know, I know that that's a lunch date with him and his friend. I don't want to come along and then it be me and my partner on this lunch date together and the friend's the third wheel. Because that's not, you know, he needs to be with his friend. That's just an example. Sometimes you have to take a step back and be okay with not being included. Space. It's a guy friend. I'm not letting my fiance go with a girl, no. Alone, no. It's okay to have boundaries like that, right? His friend's kind of special. His friend does feel like he's the third wheel if I come along with my fiance to our lunch. And so it's either going to be him and his girlfriend and me and my fiance, like it has to be all four of us, or he just wants it to be him and my fiance. And like, okay, fine. You're special, right? That's fine. He can have boy time. That's weird. I don't know. We're adults. But that's a weird example. Anyways, public terms. What is your question? It's very healthy to put a tap on their phone, also. You gotta trust your partner. Like, sharing locations, good and all, if your partner's okay with that, if they're comfortable with that, if that's just how your relationship is. But, like, don't force that on somebody. If I ask my fiance where he is, he's gonna tell me where he is, and I'm gonna trust that he is being truthful to me where he is, right? Even though I know where he is at all times anyways, because he's normally with me. But you don't want to be that overbearing partner. If you can't trust your partner, then there's already something wrong with that relationship. If you feel like you need to constantly be looking where he is, whose house he's at, if he's lying about his location, that's not a good relationship to be in, and maybe you should rethink that relationship, right? You're right here getting a reading. All right, let's stay on topic. Why can't you just be able to chill when looking for a romantic partner? What does that mean, chill? Like, just casually find someone? But you gotta understand, a lot of times when we have those insecurities where we have to know where our partner is at every second of every day and make sure that he's not lying to us or whatever that is, there's normally something else tied to that. And that's going to be tied back to past experiences, past connections, past relationships. That can be relationships even like with your parents. If they're like always lied to you, then you're not going to ever feel secure that someone is telling you the truth, right? So a lot of it is tied back to our own growth and development and the kind of people that have influenced us in our life. At some point, we need to learn how to move beyond that, how to find that security within ourselves, right? Without looking to other people to provide that. That's just a part of growth. And some people don't ever get there. I've seen 50-year-old woman. It's funny. Okay, so where I work, we have this cashier who's super nice to everyone. She can drum up conversation with anyone, even if she doesn't know them. She's very engaging with people. And she has had problems with some customers if she's talking to their husband. The woman has to come and drag the husband away, or has to come in and like take charge of that conversation. Like, I know this cashier ain't flirting with your husband. She don't give a damn about this husband, but whatever. That woman is very insecure about that attachment. And these are always older women. These are people in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. Heck, even their 70s, who have to drag their husband away from talking to another woman who is just doing their job. Some people don't grow out of that insecure attachment. Anyways. Getting off on a tangent. In your 20s, you are still developing a lot. Learning how to be on your own, to be an adult, to be in a relationship. There's still a lot of growth going on in your 20s. When you get your 30s, I'm hoping that you're more secure about yourself. But it's not always the case. And they say men take longer to develop. So when a woman hits their 30s, it's going to be 40s in a men before they hit that same maturity. Right. Me with the doctor when he tells my girlfriend she has pneumococcus. Oh gosh. So public, I guess I don't understand what you mean by chill. Why can't you be chill when looking for a romantic partner? Jeez. You got big cards here. Look, we're gonna go back towards high standards. Sometimes our high standards aren't really that high. Sometimes our high standards can be very simple things that we just, a boundary that must be met, that may be impossible to find. Devoid of fear. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. As in cool as a potato, which up until now have been chilling in the fridge. Ew, who puts potatoes in a fridge? That's weird. Is that not weird? Don't chill your potatoes. I mean, this could be tied back to your own insecurities too. with that Knight of Wands, that Chariot, both of those are like hesitation. They're keeping us from moving forward. They're interrupting. They're disturbing us. Like, this can be tied to, well, when it's Wands, it tends to be our more outgoing energy, right? So I'm going to say that's tied back to insecurities. Hi, Tyson. What you doing, buddy? What do I want to say? The big theme, I feel like, of this stream is just creating disturbances that are unnecessary, that aren't there. And that keeps us from being chill, being relaxed. Oh, you're in ads. I think the World and the Judgment Reverse are two very interesting cards to have together, because I feel like they sort of interfere with each other. But again, that can have to do with our own idea of how things should be. And with the Judgment Reverse, we kind of don't have a sure idea of what it is that what we want. And so it leaves us to feeling like we can't really attain what we want. Thanks for the sub. Tyson's getting love from me right now. So, what is this? How to just chill. I think it's just realizing that you don't really have much control. And to be okay with that. To learn to be okay with that. You know? Everyone's ideas of perfection is different. Everyone's idea for what they want to achieve for their own fulfillment is different. Happiness is different for everyone. It means something different from everyone. And I think it's just coming to an understanding and acceptance of that. Accepting people for who they are. That's the best way you can just be chill with a relationship, right? Don't think so much about the end goal. Don't think so much about what that person feels about you. Just think about where you are in the moment. And just be open and receptive to whatever another person has to offer. That's how you just be chill in a relationship. It's funny because, like, there are some people that are just so engaging with everybody in their life without any intentions, without trying to be best friends, without trying to be a romantic partner, without trying to gain something from someone else. They are just genuine. They just are themselves. They just talk to people. And those people always find a relationship because they're not worried about everything. They're not worried about what someone else thinks of them. They're just happy with who they are. They're just happy in whatever they're doing. And that's kind of rare to find. So just realize, again, that there is no guarantee, that there is no certain outcome, that you cannot predict what is going to happen. All you can do is be happy and content where you are, and just be true to who you are without trying to get something from someone else. That's how you be chill. Does that make sense? Ooh, Tyson. I am covered in your fur now, bud. I am absolutely drenched in Tyson fur. I don't know how much sense that made, but... There's been times where I've always been like, this guy seems so cool. I wonder why he's not in a relationship. Like, why is he single? Well, it's probably because the last partner they had was an absolute piece of shit, honestly. And they always find another partner. They always find someone else. They're just easygoing. And I think a lot of that is how we attach ourselves to people. Sometimes we need to be willing to let go of those toxic people in our lives. Some people hold on so tightly to toxic people just because they have no one else. Cat coding and all. Alright, yo mama. I'm gonna close the queue after this. Guru, you will be the last person if you're still here. How long have we been going? I can't even tell. Only an hour 30. Yo, mama. Yo, mama. Not yet. You'll be after your mama. What are you doing, Clyde? What are you doing, Clyde? Is that, do pigeons spy on me? JK, JK. You are moving to a new city this month, smaller to big one within your own country. What is the outcome? Absolutely, yes. Well, there are a lot of pigeons outside in this world, all over the world. And they're probably spying on you. Alright, what is the outcome of this move for 69 your mama? King of Blades, 5 of Cups, the Lover's reverse. Ooh, ooh, okay. You know, that's alright. Moves aren't always perfect at first. And sometimes we feel out of place as we try to, you know, get used to our new bearings. I mean, the King of Swords normally isn't happy with his situation. He's normally one that's going to look at all the things that are wrong, all the things that we miss. Like, we are going to be a little bit critical about this new place. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. I think you are going to miss parts of your previous place of living. There's going to be a lot of things that this new city may lack, or it could be something just big that you have enjoyed from where you live now that is not going to be there. And I think part of that is just going to make you feel a little bit uneasy or dissatisfied. It may take you a while to feel like this is home. So just kind of realize that there are going to be some frustrations. There may be some sadness that comes about because you're going to miss parts. You are going to miss some parts. And like I said, there may be some resources, something that you had in your old place that you're not going to have in this new place. And it's going to be kind of frustrating, unpleasant. It's going to take a while for you to just be completely happy where you are. But, oh, the Queen of Wands is good because you will make the most of it. You will be able to find your place here. Things will get better. Things will get better. Just realize that it won't be perfect, but you will make it your home. That's what I got for you. Sometimes moving to a big city can be a bit overwhelming at first. Guru. I moved from what? I moved like 3 years ago? Moved from one city to this city. And I kind of moved to a more shittier part of town, honestly. There's a lot of things that I still miss about the old place. Even years later. You recently met a girl. She is awesome for you, but is she your soulmate or future partner? My intuition says she is the one. Is the one. All right. Will is R. Potentially a future partner for Guru. Ooh, Two of Cups is normally a good sign there. Five of Pentacles. The Chariot, we've seen a lot in love tonight. Okay. So with that Chariot, it's not quick to progress, right? But we do have our twos. Our twos have been coming out. Our twos are normally good for a good connection. So I think something could grow from it. I think there is love potentially that could come from this situation. But it's not going to happen without more effort, more involvement to get to where you want, right? You have to push to bring about this connection with this person. Six of Swords, 10 of Swords. Ooh. Is this the same person that we talked about before? I feel like I've done a reading for you, or I've had a very similar reading where it kind of says that something needs to end before anything can begin here. So that's a big thing. So it could just be that now's not the right time, that you two are both, you know, on your own path, and that we have to finish what we've started before anything can come between this connection. I don't know. When I last saw this reading, and again, I don't remember if this was for you or for someone else, but it was about like potentially this other person might be in a relationship, or they may have feelings for another person. And so that kind of needs to play its course before anything can grow in this connection. So that may be it. Do you know if this person is in a relationship? So, again, a good connection here between these two individuals, but there are things that will get in the way of a relationship coming into being here, right? Some things we got to get through first before that happens. All right, let's see. Potentially is R in a relationship? So to me, this seems like somebody who may be getting out of a difficult relationship, or maybe in the midst of a relationship that could be falling apart. So they may be a little bit hesitant to start anything right now. And again, that might just be about, you know, we need to let these feelings, let the end of this relationship kind of play its course. I think the best thing you can do if you are around this person, you know, don't just recognize their value. I don't know how you can show that. And it could be simple things. But the best thing you can do is just be a supportive person. I do think you would have to have more like one-on-one type interactions or more communication between you, so that they can get to know you. And I think if you come and bring this positive influence, again, recognize their value. Don't be afraid to, you know, talk about common interests. Maybe even if they can show you something or teach you something, give them a little bit of an ego boost. But like I said, it does seem, again, like there is a relationship that she may be in that needs to play out its course. And all you can really do is be there to support, say nice things, don't be too pushy. Let me see. Sweet Goomba, you can go ahead and ask a question. Will she be loyal? Yes. She is one that is going to put in the effort. Put in effort into whatever relationship she is in. So when she moves past that ex relationship, like that's gonna be over. That's gonna be an end. She's gonna put all her energy into whatever is current, right? She is someone who like knows how to let go. And only wants to keep advancing, moving forward, bettering herself. Whether she misses that ex or not, she is going to move on. I think currently she's still dealing with a lot of attachment to the relationship. More like in the process of letting go. Sweet Goomba, you're saying you've been working 80 hours a week? You can't gain anything by exhausting yourself, for one. You have to have a recovery period. And that's in anything. You know, if you are learning something and, you know, making all this effort to learn something, you have to give yourself a break if you want to retain that information. You have to intentionally allow yourself to step back and decompress. It is going to be hard to see clarity when you're pushing yourself so hard. But like with anything, especially like mentally, physically, you are, think about it as like expanding muscles, right? If you're expanding your mind, expanding your muscles, like if you work out one set of a muscle group, and then the next day you're going to work out a different set, because you have to allow the muscles you've just worked out that time to recover, to reconnect, to grow. If you're just going at a constant and you don't have those recovery periods, you are going to burn out, and you may actually hinder your progress. But your question here is whether you are on the right path or not. It's okay to turn down from a 10, right? Ooh. Are you on the right path? Are you focusing on the right thing? Is this what you are meant for? Whatever that is. I'm going to say, yes, you are on the right path. This is what you are meant to be doing. You have, you know, skills. You have this ability to grow from this. And it does seem like it suits you. Okay? Now, when we see that Three of Swords, that's kind of what I was talking about before. Wasting energy. So, it's better for you to utilize your energy maybe in like spurts, so that you don't completely burn yourself out or just create more confusion and distraction. So just think about that. Think about, maybe we shouldn't be doing 80 hours straight, you know? Maybe we should back down just a little bit. And that could just be like, okay, let's just do 75 hours. Give myself a few hours to decompress, right? I think that's it. Learning how to space things out so that your efforts are maximized in the period that you're utilizing them. If that makes sense. And then we worry about that death card. I had to think if that was death or the devil. That death card. When it's in reverse, we get to a point where we're just kind of like doing the motions and we're no longer invested in any other way. So think of it as like sleepwalking. You know, you are just moving around without actually having an attachment or having a thought. You're just kind of like doing the motions. And that's kind of related to that wasted energy. It's not just about the high volume of work that you do or the high amount of work that you do. It's about doing work that is going to help you continue to gain. Yeah, see, that doesn't sound, to me, everyone works differently though. That doesn't sound good. If you're pushing yourself so hard that you are forcing yourself to take a break because you're so exhausted, then you are going to continue to go on that up and down burnout. So just think about maybe changing up your schedule a little so that you do give yourself breaks so that you don't reach the point of burnout. Because then you aren't going to feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? You're going to lose the attachment. You're going to lose the energy. So overall, I do think you are where you need to be. You are on the right path. I do think you are struggling with going at 100% all the time, or going at 90%, or even going at 80%. Give yourself some intentional breaks to recuperate and to continue to build. I would say you will be more successful if you back down just a little bit, just a teensy bit, because you're losing your energy. Balance is important. Oh, that's rest. That's good. I think when you reach the right balance, then you will start to see the success. Page of Pentacles isn't necessarily bad when it's in reverse, but their focus sometimes does hinder, like, the reward. So it's all about wise investment of your energy, putting in the right energy at the right time, and giving yourself those breaks again. Rest is important. And you will get to where you want to be. You will find success. I think it's going to be harder to succeed the way that you are working. I'm not going to put like a time limit. I'm not going to say not anytime soon, but I do think it is going to take longer the more you're overexerting yourself. And again, it's just about giving yourself intentional breaks. Having a break, having time off is kind of useless unless it's something that you enjoy, right? So just make some room for that. think of it again like that muscle. You gotta take a break from a certain muscle group so that it can rebuild and become stronger. And then you don't hurt yourself. The time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. That's very smart. I've not heard that saying before, but that is very smart. All right. I am going to end the stream here. Thanks so much for everyone who stopped in and asked the question, and all the new guys who joined. I appreciate it. Hope to see y'all again